When the CPU suffers severe solder mask damage and the pads are bridged together, how would you handle it? In this video, I'll walk you through the step-by-step repair process. First, we need to remove the excess solder from the bridged pad areas. You might be wondering, why is it necessary to remove the solder from the surface first? If we don't remove the solder first and directly apply UV solder mask over the bridged area, the solder trapped between the mask and the copper surface acts like a river. When the chip is heated during reballing, the solder starts to flow, causing the balls on adjacent pads to shift and become uneven in size, which ultimately affects the quality of the soldering. Once we remove the excess solder and then apply and cure the UV solder mask, you'll notice that the solder balls will no longer flow onto adjacent pads during heating. This is exactly why we need to scrape the pads down until the copper surface is exposed. Now that we understand the reason, the next step is to scrape all the bridged areas on the CPU until the copper surface is exposed. When using a number 11 blade to scrape the solder off the CPU surface, it's important to adjust the blade angle. If the blade is too upright, it can easily cut through the surface traces of the CPU. That's why we need to lower the angle and keep the edge as parallel to the CPU surface as possible, which greatly reduces the risk of damaging the traces. Once you finish scraping, make sure the CPU surface is cleaned thoroughly. Next, use the Rapid Fix polishing block to polish the CPU surface until it is flat and smooth. Once it's cleaned, get ready to apply insulating green oil over the CPU surface. Cut out a solder mask stencil that matches the CPU model. After confirming the orientation of the solder mask stencil, set it aside for later use. Next, use the Rapid Fix UV curable green oil designed for CPUs and apply it onto the CPU surface. Lay the solder mask stencil directly on top of the green oil. Gently press the solder mask stencil with tweezers or your finger to spread the green oil evenly across the entire CPU surface. If too much green oil squeezes out, simply wipe off the excess. Then align the opaque black dots on the solder mask stencil with the pads on the CPU. Next, use a UV curing lamp to expose it for about 10 to 15 seconds.